Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel, and today we have a brand new tank. It is the MIVY. Yes, what people call the MIVY. It is the M4Y, which you put it together, it spells MIVY. So what's the tank like? Of course, it is a tier 8 heavy tank, and it is kind of like in the Yo series, but this is slightly different because it has 4 shells. It has 4 shells, but because it has 4 shells, the alpha is lower. So we're going to have a look at the tank. We're just going to have a look at some little battles that we had to see if what the tank is like and if it's actually worth trying to get. Of course, the tank is coming in crates, so straight away off the bat, I am going to say do not get the tank because it is not worth the money or worth the crates at all. It's a weird tank, to be honest, because when I tested this, a lot of testers didn't like it, but I thought it was alright. I thought it's pretty good, but since I've had it on my press account, I've been trying to get some footage, and I really can't do anything with it. I can't bounce anything, I can't do damage. It's not looking good for me. This tank personally doesn't look too great at the moment. So the stats on the tank, the DPM is 2000 DPM, so not the best, but you know, it's not the worst in tier 8. It's pretty much kind of average, I think, among the tier 8 heavy tanks. You got the penetration is 218 on your AP, 265 on your APCR. Average damage, you've got a 310 alpha shot, which again, with 4 shots, it isn't so bad. It isn't so bad. The only difference is, because it's got 4 shots, it's not like the other tanks, and this is where people don't really like it. It literally has, let me find it, it's not like 1 or 2 seconds between each shot. It's quite a lot, actually, 7.5. so you've got 4 shells and you've got 7.5 seconds in between each shot. So that is where a lot of people don't really like the tank, because it just takes too long to get the damage. Yes, it's got 4 shells, you're doing 300 or so every shot, every 7 seconds. So yeah, that's where a lot of people don't like it. However, the magazine reload isn't actually too bad either, at 13.3. So yes, you've got a 7.5 seconds between each shell, but you've only got a 13.5 seconds reload between for your whole magazine, sorry. So the aim time 2.15 and the dispersion is 0.355, so not bad at all. You got 8 degrees of gun depression, and your speed is 40 kilometers per hour. So let's just have a look at the armor profile, because the armor profile is kind of weird, and it's annoying because, as I've said, I don't get many bounces in this tank. You look at the turret. I mean, it looks as strong as hell. You can have 300 millimeters effective armor, no problem whatsoever, on that side, and the other side again almost 400, and right on the edge you've got almost 500. So that is quite some armor on that turret there. That's quite a lot of armor on that turret. However, you've got some weak points on the tank. You've got the hatch on top, which everyone is shooting. Here it don't look so big, well, it does actually, but in game it is actually really, really big and very, very frustrating. It really is frustrating, because just like the old patterns, or just like the old E5s, everyone will go for that hatch, and when it's only 120 millimeters thick, everybody will be able to penetrate it. Also, normally a tank like this, where it's got the upper plate and a lower plate, normally one of them is quite strong, and you'd think here the upper plate will be strong. I mean, 253 millimeters effective, yeah, okay, not too bad. And of course, if you're using gun depression, that does become thicker, but when you're just sort of directly facing them, you can't even get 200 well, you're looking at around 200 millimeters, a little bit more. So medium tanks probably might be able to struggle, but if they can't penetrate that, they for sure will be able to penetrate your lower plate. Now that is 172, so the armor isn't bad. It isn't bad. It can work, but the only things that frustrate me, if you're in a hold down position, they're going to go for that hatch. If they're not in a hold down position, heavies will be able to shoot here just about, and and mediums will be able to shoot sort of your lower plate. So it's a frustrating tank. But let's just get into the game and see how this tank performs on the battlefield. Tank does come with a legendary camouflage called the Stalker, so it will be called the MIVY Stalker, which is yeah, that's some name. But you can see here what I'm on about with the hatch. Like it is a big hatch, it is a big hatch, and everybody will go for that hatch. So we're just gonna fast forward a little bit. I went too far, but never mind. But I wanted to go a bit further, a bit slower, because you'll be able to see, I think there you can see, look, they've penetrated the hatch. I'm trying to go hold down and they just go for that hatch, and it's frustrating when that is, you can't really do anything. And I don't really like a tank like that. Like, I don't mind a tank that can go hold down, and if it can't go hold down, I like a tank that has a little bit of armor, that you can still get some bounces when you are in the middle. But this kind of tank, yes, I mean the armor profile is okay, the armor profile is okay, but if you go hold down, they're going to go for the hatch. If you don't go hold down, they will be able to penetrate you. Now, a lot of people, as I've said, don't really like the auto the gun itself, like with the reload, but I don't mind it, to be honest. 7.5 seconds reload between each shell, and then I've said you've only got a 13 or so seconds magazine reload, so you're not waiting too long. And honestly, I don't mind that, especially at the beginning, because people are not going to really know. You're going to take a shot, they're going to come out, and I know you've still got 7.5 seconds long to shoot your next shell, so that can be a bit costly because you're not doing that much alpha. But you know, I'm getting on with the gun, I'm getting on with the reload. I think the reload's okay, it's acceptable, it's not mega weak, and you can still do damage, and you can still put people off, because they're not going to know that you've got only a 7-second reload. They're going to think you've got a 7 or so second reload. So yeah, that's not too bad. It's frustrating, of course, when you low roll, when you do sub 300, sort of 280, 290. But when you get high rolls like that, 388, it's not too bad. But you can see I've just showed that little game because I got one little bounce because of the way I had my gun, or sorry, my tank. But other than that, you're really not going to bounce too much. So if you look at the armor profile in Blitzhanger that I've just showed you, you would think that the armor's pretty good, and you're going to get quite a lot of bounces. But yeah, it just doesn't work like that. Against obviously tier 7s, yes, you might be able to bounce a few shots, but overall I just think the tank is frustrating. It really is frustrating, because everybody just goes for the hatch, and it annoys me. It really does annoy me, because you're trying to go hold down, you're trying to use the armor profile, but when people just go for the hatch, it is frustrating. But it's not a bad tank, it isn't a bad tank by all means. I just think the armor's frustrating, the gun can be frustrating because of the reload. I mean, you're still waiting 7 seconds, and then you've got the choice now. I've got 2 shells, do I go for the reload or do I wait? So I waited, and then I realized, you know what, I've got no shots, I might as well go for the reload. So it can be frustrating, but yeah, at the minute it's all right. It's all right, but I definitely wouldn't go for it. It definitely isn't a tank that's worth in crates. 100% it isn't worth crates. How much would I pay for it? I mean, when these tanks come back later on in the game, they'll come back. This will come back for probably about 12k gold, and they're maybe 15k gold with the camouflage. Yeah, that's not worth it. I would personally, I would wait until the next time when it comes for sale for around 10,000 gold with the camo, or around 8,000 gold without. That is when I probably would go for the tank, when it's around 8,000 gold. That's how much I think the tank is personally worth. But you guys, you can make up your own mind. Some of you might absolutely love the tank, some of you probably are gonna not like it, and they're probably gonna say to me, Midgy, what are you on about? You're talking crap. But you know, we'll see. But personally, I think it's okay, nothing special. definitely isn't worth crates, and I definitely wouldn't go for it right now. I would just wait, because yeah, you're not going to get, I mean, I'm not going to moan about the shots here, because of course the angle I was at, of course he is of course he's going to penetrate me, but yeah, it is a tank that's it's a new tank. It's a new tank. People are going to want it. People are going to go for it, where regardless of what I say, regardless of if the tank is even worth the price, people are still going to go for it, because it is a new tank. It's just a shame that it is in crates. I would love for Wargaming to start bringing more tanks out that are not in crates, you know, especially tanks like these. Like, it's nothing special. You don't need to put these these tanks in crates. Please, Wargaming, just, you know, just even if it's one tank in a crate, then the next time it comes for sale, or the next tank comes for sale for gold, then the next tank comes to gold, whatever, you know, swap him. Just don't keep bringing these tanks out in freaking crates. Change it up. But overall, definitely not worth it. I would avoid it for now. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Sorry it's not an OP tank. It isn't an OP tank by all means, but it's not an awful tank. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Meadsy, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye. With